I was having a chat today with a cyclist, and we were talking about injuries and back and stuff, and I forgot to mention. I said, do you work on a computer on the floor? If I work on a computer on the floor, if you sit down on the floor or on your belly reading a laptop or book or whatever, that can really trigger your disc, your vertebrae. And so I myself had an accident in 2003, and so I got to be a little nurturing to my little backbones. So if you look at one of my bike setups, this is called the head tube. They're quite tall. I don't ride a slam setup. I ride more of a Lance Armstrong, Floyd Landis sort of setup. Lance Armstrong was 178. He rode a 58 centimeter. I'm 6 foot. I rode a 58. So even Lance Armstrong rode look at some photos here. Lance Armstrong setup. So I was going to mention anyone, if you have back pain, then ride a Lance setup versus Andy Schleck setup where he rode a 54 centimeter frame or whatever. So if you see a lot of my bikes, the head tube is very tall, and this is actually a disc bike. This is a Webworks, not sponsored. I actually bought this, paid retail, paid the same price you'd pay for it. I'm going to build this up very shortly here. So this is a disc one. This will be quite a high. The seat up here and the bars just here. There won't be much drop. So if you are having back issues, all right, if you're having back issues, make sure your setup is more endurance based. Maybe it might even require selling your bike and having to buy a new bike. I mean, that's for a lot of us buying a new bike. That's quite an issue, isn't it? Any excuse to get a new bike. Hey, why not? You could be dead tomorrow. So I would say, if you've got back issues and you've got a racier bike, the lad today we're talking about, he's got a C59 Colnago, more of a race spec. I would probably switch out to something like a Giant Defy or a Cannondale Synapse, Giant Any Road, things like that with a taller head tube. The Lance Armstrong setup. I mean, Lance Armstrong had it. Floyd Landis had it. So that was like 10 years ago. Those guys run an endurance setup. That's my tip for back pain. Obviously, you're stretching, stuff like that daily. Just going to bed, stretch out your glutes. Stretch out your ass, maybe 10 seconds each butt cheek. Stretch out your hamstrings. That would be my suggestion as well. But we always, when you have an injury, we always want to look at the triggers of that, the cause of that. Is it your cleat position? If it's your back, often it's bending so far over the bike, it's too aggressive. Especially if you're doing 1 hour crits, you want to run a slam setup because you go in the corners, low center of gravity, you slide down here. But if you're doing more climbing stuff, all day stuff, Everesting, epic rides, big head tube, breathe easier. So you got Lance Armstrong, or you got Robbie McEwen style, slammed corners, or Lance Armstrong upright breathing, better back. Any more questions? Write it down below. Is that clear? Get an endurance style road bike and have the stem up. Sailing in the wind, anything but fucking back pain. You want to be able to train and avoid pain at all costs. Always treat the cause versus just a symptom. Thanks for watching.
Is there anything about your dealings with Dr. Ferrari over the decade or so that you've known him and dealt with him that would suggest to you that perhaps he was using or encouraging other athletes to use performance-enhancing drugs or substances?
No. In fact, to the contrary.
Tell me what you mean by when you say to the contrary.
I know you're going to find this hard to believe, but he's, to me, totally clean and totally ethical, believes in clean, fair sport, but produces great results with his athletes because he's so focused.